G'day, welcome back. So, we're going to start on a car that needs absolutely no introduction, but we're going to give it one anyway. So this is the re-release of kit number 5847.
Yep.
Or 58047, however you want to say it. Obviously the Hotshot. So, this video is about unboxing our new Hotshot that we just recently bought. I'm only showing this Hotshot because this is the one that I bought late 2000s, which was my second attempt at building a RC collection, and I did run it quite a few times, and I absolutely loved it. It was a great car to drive. Now, as does happen a lot of times, life got in the way and I just had to sell all of my RC cars. I think I had, must have been anywhere up to 35 to 40 RC cars. Not all Tamiya, mostly Tamiya. There were a few odd different brand cars thrown in there, but not many. They were mostly Tamiya. But this was one of them, this actual car. And I did sell this car. I think I told this story in a previous video, but it was a long time ago, so I'll just get you back up to speed. A guy contacted me. I put all these cars up on Facebook Marketplace, I think. It was a long time ago. And guy contacted me and said, "Oh, do you still have the Hotshot for sale?" I said, "Yes, I do." And he came around with his son. We agreed on a price. I forget what the price was. We agreed on a price and he paid me the money and he took it away. Everybody's happy. Obviously the KCs aren't quite straight. About a week later, he sent me a message. He said, "Can I bring the Hotshot back?" I said, now, mind you, keep in mind, at the time I was very, very strapped for cash. So whatever money I was getting from these cars was going straight into other things. It wasn't to save for another project or anything like that. So as soon as I was getting money in, it was getting spent. Okay, so this guy said, "Can I bring the Hotshot back?" And straight away I don't have the money to give back to him. And I said, "Yeah, okay, fine, what's the problem?" He said, "Oh, it's just not for us. We gave it a run, him and his son." He said, "We gave it a run, one run," he said, "and it just fell to pieces." So, and then he followed up by saying, "I don't want my money back. I'd just like to return the car if you want it back." I said, "Well, yes. Obviously, you sure you don't want your money back?" He didn't. He brought the car back, he dropped it off, he said, "Thank you, but yeah, it's just not for us." He brought it back exactly how it is here. Both rear lower arms broken with all the suspension pieces broken off, both front rear lower arms. I do still have the front shock, it's in a drawer down there somewhere. He did bring it back separately with it. He says he drove it once and went over one jump and it ended up like this. That noise you can hear is just all the steering parts that I've kept inside the car. And in my head I'm going, "You did one jump with this thing and it broke it." I used to run this car, not hard, but I used to run it and do jumps and running off gutters onto bitumen, all sorts of stuff, never had a problem. And this guy ran it once and pretty much broke everything on it. But anyway, I ended up with the Hotshot back. And oh, there's one of the parts there. There's a servo post I can go back in there. So I ended up, out of that collection, I ended up keeping 3 cars. There's the Hotshot, the Hornet and the Frog, which back in the day were my 3 favourite Tamiya cars. So out of that whole collection, they're the 3 cars that I ended up keeping. I still have them, obviously have that. I have the Hornet and the Frog up on there, which are way worse off than this, which will probably never get rebuilt. They're just on the shelf for nostalgic purposes. Now it's not going to take much to get this up and running again, and we are going to do that. We need a few parts bags, the steering arms obviously, because we stole them to build to get the steering working on the quad. Those are mainly Hotshot steering arms. So we need a few parts bags to get this car up and running again. And like I said, we are going to do it. So, which brings us to, we'll set this up on one of Pete's beautiful stands there. Which brings us to our new, get that out of the way, our new Hotshot. So this is going to be built as a Shell Queen, and we are going to rebuild this car for a runner. Obviously we already have the Boomerang, which is basically this car, kind of. But I would like to run this against the Boomerang. I reckon that'll be really cool. But this is not going to be run. We're going to build this kit standard. This does come with some ball bearings. Obviously they're going in the car. This was actually built with full ball bearings back in the day. And a dirt tune motor actually, which is no longer, I still have it, it doesn't work anymore. Where was it? Yes, this is going to be built completely box stock, box art. The red on this is not the correct red, it is a darker red, it's more of a maroon. It probably looks red in the camera. We're even going to use the plastic bushings in the hubs, because like I said, it's not going to get driven. It's going to get built, detailed as best as we can, and put on the shelf. And it's going to be one of our few cars that probably is not going to run. So we're going to try and do the best job that we can. We did price a set of gold wheels for this, and oh man, they're so expensive, those gold wheels. It's almost, the price we found them for here in Australia anyway, it's almost worth buying a super Hotshot just to have the gold wheels on this car. They were like $130. Thank you, Harley. They were like $130 for the set of gold rims. I don't think that even included tyres. No, just the rims. No, just the rims. $130 for a set of rims, gold rims for this car. But we're going to try and find cheaper ones, because I would really like to have this sitting on the shelf, nice and pretty with the gold rims. So, yeah, all I have to say about that. We got the paints over there, Zach. Oh yeah, I say box art. Yep, land them down. We don't need that one. We'll talk about it anyway. We're missing one, but that's okay. I did say box art. We have the correct red, the PS2. But we are going to spray the Lexan with PS58 Pearl Clear first, just to give it that little bit of a zhuzhy kind of appearance, which we like to do. We like to like the Fox. We didn't paint it with the straight PS4 black blue. We painted it with metallic blue, which really brought out the gold rims on that car. So this is going to be the pearl with the red, and then backed up with the PS12 silver. The PS55 flat clear probably won't get used on this kit. This is I just like having this handy, because we'll go into that later. It's not going to be used on this kit. So let's open the box and see what we've got ourselves into. It's been a while since I built one, so let's have a look. Okay, so let's have have a look inside the box, but first of all, let's just take a moment to appreciate the gorgeous Tamiya box art. The red and the blue on the Hotshot, I never understood. There's no blue on the actual car, except for maybe his helmet. I'm not too sure.
No, his helmet's red.
Oh, it's red there. So, yeah, I don't know where the blue comes from. Oh, the blue on the RPM, big deal. And we have our kind of skeleton view of all the four-wheel drive system, which is really, really cool. We're not going to go over the whole box. You see this sticker here, that means it didn't come with an ESC. Sorry, Zach's just helped me out getting in the front. We've never filmed like this before, so bear with us. So Zach, you can take care of that. So obviously, being a re-release, no blister packs. I don't know why I'm looking up at the camera, you can't even see me. Yeah, our Hotshot wheels were, I think, identical to the Boomerang wheels. And like I said, we're going to try to get gold rims for this car. The classic Hotshot shell and the old one that I showed you. I had very little experience with cutting out Lexan bodies back at that time. Even now I have still limited experience with cutting out Lexan bodies, but I am getting better at it. So hopefully this one turns out a lot better than the one I built years ago. And I love the way the Lexan is printed. You're not going to see it, but 58047, copyright 1985 Tamiya. Now, I understand the original mouldings didn't have the copyright 1985. Maybe didn't even have the part number in it. So it is a different mould, but it's the exact same body shell. So I don't know what they did with that or why. Do we take it? Yeah, we'll take it out of the plastic. We're not building this straight away, but we will be building it soon. So here is your typical clamshell Hotshot chassis. The box was similar. I can't remember with the Boomerang. All your radio gear goes inside this clamshell, and if you ever need to change anything, it's a bit of a pain to take everything apart and get everything out. So if you want to run these cars, you really need to decide what ESC, what servo you want to run, what radio gear you want to run, put it in there and pretty much just leave it in there. I mean, it's all just nuts and bolts. It really doesn't take too much to get it all out. But and obviously the driver's body is molded into the top half of the clamshell. Now, I was just looking at the driver's head on the Hotshot that I built years ago, and Zach, you can help me out getting this in shot. Let me just get rid of that. There it is. Don't know if you can see the driver's head. And this one may not be able to get in there to see it. We might even take a photo and and put it up on the screen. But I was really happy with the way I painted that driver's head way back in the day. So I might even just use that driver's head for the Shell Queen car. Decal sheet. All your usual, typical Hotshot decals. Obviously we're going to be using most of them. So we've got them. Oh, the wing, rear wing. Again, 58047, copyright 1985 Tamiya. Very nice, so we're going to be cutting that out as best we can. They are still including these plastic aerials in the kits. You just don't need them anymore. The instructions, which we won't go through in this video, there's really no point. We'll do that as we're building it. And your normal don't do dumb stuff sheet. At least I think that's what it says on those sheets. I've never actually read them. Maybe I should. This bag we have the main the roll bar frame out of the soft nylon plastic, or whatever kind of plastic it is. It's not actually telling me. Anyway, it's the soft plastic. You got your roll bars. I wonder what that's for. I don't remember seeing that. That's part of your battery cover, I'm pretty sure. What do we have here? Oh, gearbox halves. Front and rear, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that'll be your front, that'll be your rear. Gearbox halves out of the hard plastic. Another bag, mate. Tyres. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. My knife here. Zach's actually, well, you can see his hand come into view every now and then, but he's on the other side of the camera. So we're both going to take a big one each. Have a sniff of that, mate. That's actually pretty weak. Not a lot of smell in that. Maybe they've been sitting around a while and I don't know. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Anyway, red tree parts. Two red trees actually. We've got servo mounts. You get two sets of servo mounts for some reason. There's a servo horn there. Your triangle hubs, which are, I don't know if they're unique to the Hotshot or not. They can't be. They must have been on the boomerang as well. Various other parts in there. That part there, I think, is also for your battery tray. I'm going back almost 20 years of memory here from when I built the last one. I haven't looked through the manual in, well, 20 years. So more red parts trees, hubs, shock ends. Pretty interesting shock setup. I can't wait for Zach to see it actually. The oil filled shock itself is an insert, and you're just surrounded by these plastic parts. It's actually pretty cool. These steering hubs you don't actually use, so they become spares, and I've actually used those as spares. Actually, I've got one on the old Hotshot down there because old mate broke one, and it seems to work fine. Oop, front bumper, rear, the front bumper bar kind of cover mount thing. Driver figure, spotlights, might as well keep that in the thing. Servo horns, servo saver, stuff like that. Okay, so that's all of our parts trees. I might just throw everything back in here before we go any further. We're not actually building this straight away, well, not today anyway. We might get into it tomorrow. Take it in there somewhere. That can go in the box with all the other ones that we don't use. The stickers can go. The stickers can go with the instructions actually. So I'm going to take out our box of goodies and get rid of this for a sec. That can go down there. So our box of goodies. I've already opened this, obviously. I might just. I also like the way they put the image of the car and the names on the boxes too sometimes. If we actually own the place we're living in and we're allowed to, I'd probably cut up some of these boxes and just plaster them all over the walls like some people do. Alright, so first up, kit standard 540 silver can. That's obviously going in it because we're not running this car. Like I said, the metal aerial, I do have another one of these, and I would probably like to run two metal aerials on this car. I'll make that decision when I come to it. Front hubs that you actually use on the kit. I believe they're they're just an upgraded version of the original hubs that are on the parts trees. Window netting and all your foam tape, your aluminium backed tape that you use for, well, I use it for under where the body pins go through the body to save the paint a little bit, and zip ties, switch, little booty, shock bag, springs. There's your resistor covers, which is so good about the re-release. The original, these parts here were the actual resistors for the mechanical speed controller. Now they're just machined aluminium pieces that get held in with a circlip, just to keep that look, that original look to the car. I love it. So yeah, shock parts, shock bodies, springs, damper oil, blue damper oil. Which one's it? It just says Tamiya damper oil. It doesn't say if it's soft or hard or medium or what.
It should be a heavier one, I think.
Well, you'd think so, being one shock per end. We have a tube of ceramic grease and a tube of molybdenum grease, and a bunch of O-rings, shock bladders, pistons, all that sort of good stuff. Another hardware bag, your box wrench. You get a spanner. I've got 1,000 of these. More zip ties. They give you more zip ties in this kit than any other kit, I'm sure. And you use probably bugger all of them. Rod ends, double-sided tape. That's about it. Control arms. There for the front. There, your rear control arms. Won't bother taking them out of the packet. Here's your battery cover. This U-shaped bracket thing here, I can't remember what that's for. There's a bunch of aluminium parts in there. There's your like cantilever parts for your rear suspension, parts for the front suspension. There's your steering rods. Another no-name bag. Oh, here's your bearings. You do get 4 1150 ball bearings, you get 5 850 brass bearings, and you get 2 ball thrust bearings. Kind of a pity to not actually use them, but anyway, they're going in the car. And there's all your diff gears, drive shaft, and your actual, well, that's your front to rear diff drive shaft, and your actual drive shaft for your wheels, your dog bones, and your pinion gears in there too. I think they might, yeah, they give you 2 different pinion gears. I'll have to look through the manual to see what gears they give you. There's all your plastic diff gears, your bevel gears, that sort of good stuff. Ball ends, you got ball ends for your sway bars, anti-roll bars, steering ball ends, all that sort of good stuff. Nylon bushings, which we are using in this kit for a change, unless we can find this many ball bearings that we're not using. And you've also got your screw pins for your suspension arms, your control arms. Bag A, screws. Bag B, more screws. Bag C, hey look, more screws. You got some grub screws in there, some 2mm screws, some 2 or 3 2mm E-clips. G bag, more screws. It's actually more nuts than screws. And you've got your adjuster plates for your motor to set your pinion mesh in your motor. And you've got some threaded rods there. So we'll find out what they're for when we build the kit. So all of that is eventually going to build one of these. Now look how filthy this thing is. It hasn't been cleaned since about 2009. So we're going to have to take care of that when we rebuild it. So there you go. That is our unboxing of the Tamiya Hotshot. What's the actual part number, mate, for the re-release?
58391.
58391. So there you go. It'll be a fun build. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Stay tuned for the build series. And we'll see you then.